It's Monday, and I'm going to be doing double duty today. Tomorrow I have a class of 2025 prom planning meeting at my daughter's high school. So tonight, since I'm making the dish I'm making tomorrow has a lot of the same ingredients as the dish I'm making tonight, and so I figured I would go ahead and prep the meal for tomorrow. That way, all that my husband has to do is throw it in the oven, and it can be cooking while I'm away. And then, you know, I'm dirtying the knife one time, cutting one time, getting it all out of the way all at the same time, but it's going to be for 2 meals. So tonight I'm making Cajun jambalaya, and tomorrow I'm going to be preparing a recipe that we found for Cracker Barrel meatloaf. I'm going to be preparing that for tomorrow, along with the Cracker Barrel copycat hash brown casserole. So I hope you stick around, and we're going to make some jambalaya. So I've already chopped up my bell pepper, red and green. I'm just going to use the green for the meatloaf, and then I'm using red and green for the jambalaya. So now I have 2 stalks of celery here that I've diced up. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to use 1 whole onion for the jambalaya, and then about 3/4 of an onion for the meatloaf, and then about the other quarter of that onion for the hash brown casserole. To get started on our jambalaya, I have 6 pieces of bacon here, and what I'm going to do is cut it up into small pieces, and this is going to be the base for the flavor of our jambalaya. We're going to fry this up, and then we're going to end up, the fat that's rendered from the bacon will be what we cook the bell pepper, onions, and celery in, and so it's going to be creating different layers of flavor. And then at the end, we'll put all of this bacon, we'll stir it back into the jambalaya once it's done. So I'm just gonna cut this up into cubes and get it into a pan that's preheating on the stove. While my pan is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and dice up, this is some andouille sausage. This is 1 link of andouille sausage. And I like to cut it up pretty small so it makes it for a better bite when you're trying to eat it. So just cut a half of a link and another half, and then cut this one in half again. It's not going to be perfect, but it's better to have it a smaller size than in coins. I'll go ahead and get this chopped up. And by the time I'm done, our pan should be hot and ready for that bacon. So I've got the bacon and the sausage all chopped. So I'm going to go ahead and start off frying up this bacon and get it rendered so it's nice and crispy. And then once this is done, we'll remove the bacon, and then we're going to sear up the andouille sausage. And removed my bacon from the pan and put it in a bowl with some paper towel. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in my andouille sausage and get that browned up. And then we'll let that go ahead and brown up for a few minutes, maybe about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we'll add in our onion, bell pepper, and celery. We fried up our andouille sausage and got it nice and brown. And now we're gonna add some chicken breast. Normally I add chicken thighs, but chicken breast is what I had in the freezer. So I've cubed that up, and we're gonna go ahead and put that in the pan where the andouille sausage was. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right, we'll go ahead and let this chicken get brown and cook through. And then after this, we'll add our veggies and saute those up. And when those veggies go in, it's going to get all this nice brown bit off the bottom of the pan, and that's going to give us some great flavor for this dish. So I had a little extra chicken breast that I took out from the freezer, so I've decided to go ahead. We're not going to use this all for the jambalaya, but I decided to go ahead and fry it all up since I'm frying it. And we're going to go ahead and season this chicken with some Zatarain's blackened seasoning and put it to taste. We usually do about a teaspoon or so. I'm putting a little extra since we have some extra chicken in here. And so that way, this extra chicken in here, I've already, I'll have it ready for something else this week, like to go on a salad or to use in another dish. Saving time. All right, that needs to cook a few more minutes. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and take this chicken out and add in our veggies. I'm gonna go ahead and add a tablespoon or so of some olive oil there. And then remember this is the onion, bell pepper, and celery. You get that added in, let that go about 5 minutes, and then we'll add in our garlic, and then we'll put this all together. And these veggies are gonna help scrape off all of these bits on the pan once the moisture starts coming out of them. I'm gonna let these cook down so the peppers get nice and tender. All right, y'all. These veggies have been sauteing about 7 minutes or so. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in the garlic. So I'm being lazy tonight and using the pre-minced stuff, so we need about a teaspoon of that. And let that go for just a few seconds. And then we're gonna add in some chicken bouillon powder. You can use chicken broth, whatever you prefer. That better than bouillon stuff is pretty good. So 4 teaspoons, because we're gonna do 4 cups of water. So it's 1 teaspoon per 1 cup of water. All right, let's get that mixed in. All right, and now we're gonna put in our Cajun seasoning. This is our favorite, paella. And we're gonna need 2 teaspoons of that. Remember, we already have seasoning, that blackening seasoning, so 1, 2 teaspoons. Of course, you can add more or less, depends on your preference. Get that mixed in. I'm going to go ahead and add in our 4 cups of water. That way we can get some of those brown bits off the bottom. It's still there. Add in our 2 bay leaves. I'm going to go ahead and get this off the sides. Run my wooden spoon along the bottom. All right, now we're going to add in about half of this chicken back in. That's good. And I'm going to add back in these juices if I can without spilling it all. All right. Okay. Now we're going to add back our andouille sausage. Now I should have put this in a different bowl from the bacon, but it is what it is because the bacon is going to be saved for last. All right, let's stir in our andouille sausage. And now we're going to put in 2 cups of long grain rice. Oop. Pour some of that out. Okay, there we go. And give that a good stir. Make sure all that rice is mixed in good. All right, so get this all stirred in. Now we're gonna let this come back up to a boil, and then we'll cover it with a lid and then turn it down to simmer. Our mixture's starting to come back up to a boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover it. And then I'm gonna turn down the fire to low and let that simmer for 20 minutes and get my timer started. All right, y'all, moment of truth. This has been cooking for 20 minutes and I turned off the heat and let it sit for 5. So now we'll see what it looks like. Oh yeah. So we'll get in here and fluff it up. It looks like it could have cooked a little bit longer, but we're gonna roll with it because everybody's hungry. And so what we're gonna do is put this bacon in here. And while this was simmering, I went ahead and cut up a few green onions that we're gonna throw in there. We'll throw some green onions in there. Then we'll get this all stirred up. This makes a ton. We'll go ahead and take this bay leaf out. But this makes a ton. It can feed a lot of people. You can really stretch it if you wanted to and add more rice. But since this makes so much, we actually enjoy having the leftovers because what I do with it is I can put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer if we're not going to eat it the next day. And then it warms up really well in a skillet and it almost tastes like Cajun fried rice. So I'm gonna get that mixed up. All right, I'm gonna dish it up. It's time to eat. there you have it, guys. Cajun jambalaya. We hope you make it. We hope you love it. See you next time.